Yeah, feet hip distance. And then anterior tilt with the pelvic bone. And then feel the inner thighs engage, belly draws to spine. And all you're doing is holding here. So for the warm-up, it's about a minute hold, so 60 seconds or so. Just feeling into the feet here as well, noticing what's going on, staying into the tripod of the foot, and just being consistent, noticing the inner thighs, feeling the glutes engage and turn on. So another 30-second part of the warm-up, so the band moves up underneath the knees, still keeping the anterior tilt into the pelvis, and then externally rotating and then internally rotating really nice and slow. So you'll also notice that you'll move from the lateral to the medial edge of the foot, so the inner and the outer, keeping the belly nice and engaged the whole time and still working on about a minute or so for the warm-up set. Cool. So band stays as it is, finding the tripod again at the feet. There's no weight in the toes. And it's about 5 seconds up and 5 seconds down. And I want you to focus on peeling the spine as well. So you'll be working through the posterior chain. So as you push through the heels before the hamstrings and the glute engage, and then there's a peeling of the spine. Liken it to a string of pearls being lifted off the ground or a chain. So each link has to come off one vertebrae at a time. And especially through that lumbar area, you're going to find that it's going to want to arch. So over that 5 counts, take your time to slowly come down and press each vertebrae down. It takes a fair bit of concentration to do it. Keeping the band exactly where it is for bridge, arms are out, cactus arms. And then as you lift up, the chest will peel and the feet will split, toes point, and then slowly come down. So again, about 5 seconds up and 5 seconds down. It's taking the time to feel everything here. So posterior chain, you're going to feel it hamstrings, glutes, and then all through the back. And then also an opening into the chest as you sort of peel up, and again, just working through drawing the shoulder blades back together. Beautiful. 25 more. For the warm-up, 30 seconds of easy band pull apart. So you can work a little bit of speed with this one as well. It doesn't have to be super slow. What is important is making sure the arms are straight, and you'll feel the triceps squeeze as you pull back and the shoulder blades draw together. Beautiful. So you've got 10 more seconds, and then you'll just roll straight into the next one where the band will go underneath your foot and you'll go straight into that easy bicep curl. So 3, 2, 1. So same band goes underneath the foot. You can hold on to the handles and again, keep it really nice and light. And you're just sort of moving through these ones. They're not slow, just pulling up, pulling down, and it's about 30 seconds of work. So both of those two are just 30-second efforts, whereas the rest of them are 60 seconds long. So slight engagement of the belly here as well. So 15 more seconds. Cool, so 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Awesome. So working through, it's just 10 repetitions. So with this, working eccentric, concentric, 3-second drop. So as we come down, coming down for 1, 2, 3, and then 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So anterior tilt, I'm sorry, belly draws to spine, and then push the floor away. Really feel the inner thighs engage. So working 10 repetitions of these. So going 6 more, and just always in your head, just working that count, that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Staying on the tripod of the foot, so really making sure there's 60% into the heel, and then 40% into the balls of the foot here as well. So the toes can drop, but just try not to keep any weight in the toes. So they don't have to be fully pulled up now, but just be aware that there's not any weight into the toes. And I want you to really feel like you're splitting the floor apart when you come up. So you should feel it in your adductors, your inner thighs, and then as you come up, the glutes squeeze together. I've lost count, by the way. Is it 2 more?
3.
3. Good, so you should feel everything here. And of course, when you're doing this at home, you can always use different weights in the bands as well, lighter. I wouldn't go any heavier than that, that's more than enough. Perfect. Oh, take a moment, breathe. Feel that?
Yes.
Good, yeah. The band comes off, you work with a block now. So, yeah, I've just stolen my block. When we want to do this one, just be creative with it. So, we're trying to get ourselves out of that static area of the lunge. So we hold on with the tricep of the foot, and this leg just floats, and we go for about a minute. And just, especially when you do this for the first time, go really little. And just trying to touch down at different points. You can touch down the back foot and play with that, but move really slow. And explore even pointing and flexing the foot, you know, like just really like play around with that floating foot. Try to get the foot moving in all different directions. Try to spread the toes, scrunch the toes. Like no right or wrong. Yeah, awesome. Touching down with the heel, like just different ways of moving, 15 seconds or so. Therefore, not just, and again, working through the space of the quads and lunge, but also getting that muscle on the underside of the feet working. Last one. Yeah, nice. Internal rotation there as well. And then change. It should feel quite nice in the body. It should be hard, but it should feel, yeah. And definitely, of course, the lower you go, the harder that's going to be. And the slower you go, the harder this is. It's quite easy to do this quick. So I just want you to keep it really slow and just this constant listening. Like where you're like, okay, cool, there's my limit there. Okay, cool, that's fine. Or maybe I can go a little bit more. You're just letting the hip just explore, like, and dodge the plant again. Gonna need to trim this one off anyway.
It might rain today, you could put them all outside.
Yeah, I'm so hoping it will rain today. Takes me about half an hour to get all these babies outside.
My son and daughter-in-law.
15 seconds.
So many.
Yeah. I think it was you that told me about collecting the buckets of rain.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yes.
Make this one your last one. Perfect. Come off, give your legs a shake. Always just shake them out after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more I got, I'm like, well, this takes me quite a while to get outside.
Yeah, and they've got big ones too.
Yeah.
And so when it rains,
It's a good exercise. Like, I quite like it. I'm like, okay, like, pick them all up.
And it's really good for them, all that hydrogen in the water.
Yeah.
So.
Chest press, my love.
Okay.
So you can use your green band. It goes as you lie down, straight across the back of the shoulder blades.
Yeah, I'm sure we did this first time I got you.
Yeah, we did at your place, I think, back in the day. And
back in Valentine.
it's actually a really good one because it takes the whole pressure out of it and it's very unsteady. So it's actually a little bit harder than using weights because you'll feel it sort of pull either direction. So it's a really great one to, especially when you use it like with quite a thick band, it's quite challenging. Slow it down a little bit. So do 1,000, 2,000 and 3,000 and really fight the eccentric. So as you're coming down, I want you to push up slow and then even slower, like really come back down and feel it. So there's about 6 more of those. So when you're doing this in your own, you're aiming for about 8 to 10 repetitions. Nice and slow, if that makes sense. The only thing that will be different is the lunge. That's just a minute on each side of the hip mobility. Perfect. So there should be a bit of shaking there, which is good. That's what's going on. You're always listening to your body too. If you feel like that's enough, then you stop. Last one. Awesome. Well done.
Yeah.
Good. They look like you were working with those.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, perfect. time to come up. In between your exercises, again, you don't need too much rest with this kind of stuff, but maybe 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, just enough to slowly come up, change, make sure your head is in the right space, so it's not dizzy from going down and up, and then resettling. So this one we want to just face that way, so you can see, we want to sort of hold a bit of a wide squat, so there's a bit of a sumo squat happening here, so you can face that way, so you can't make it got over here, and again, always start really light, so you overhand the grip, turn, twist, belly to spine, and slowly back down. So turn, twist, and slowly back down. And what we're looking for is the elbow draws back and the shoulder blades draw together. So we're working into those upper back muscles, so infraspinatus, subscap, even in the back into the rhomboids, and of course the lats. But you're also getting a bicep as well here, and you're also using a bit of your triceps. So it's a really nice little exercise, plus your legs. So just go 4 more of these ones. So we'll just go 8 on this. Again, especially while you're healing through there, just keep it light enough so it's not aggravating, but enough to just feel and start to get the body twisting gently. Awesome. Beautiful. Change. And so one of the best ways to build strength is to go really slow, like really, really slow. It becomes very difficult when you slow it down, and it starts to, as it traps the blood in the muscle group, and you really start to build that strength. So anytime you do any eccentric work, you really start to build that strength. Same with pull-up and stuff like that. To build a pull-up, you practice the eccentric, the going down. Same deal, and you do it really slow. We've got 8 reps on this side, so really nice and steady, nice and slow. Turn and twist. Beautiful. And even just pay attention to your knees when you're doing this one as well. So it's a really, because you're twisting, what's going to happen is the knees going to want to twist, similar in yoga, right? Like when we do a twisting yoga, the knees are going to want to internally rotate. So pay attention as you move through this one, what the knees want to do, and try to keep them steady into this one as well. But the other thing is too, you can also play with twisting the knees as well. That's not a bad thing to do. So you can either keep the squat or you can twist. Does that make sense? So if it feels okay in your body, you can play with this little twist in the knees as well. And again, it's just coaching the body that it's okay to, you know,
move that way,
100%. I think it's just the slightest. Like we're not going far with it, but it's just
move with the body.
100%. It's just there's static. You can be static, or maybe you choose to play around a little bit with that. Like when we do Eastern leg strength, we're constantly moving every different way. Just to get the knee, you know what I mean? Like, so if it feels good, play with that little bit of an internal and external rotation. You can play with both. I don't want to say there's a right or wrong with it. I want you to listen and just see, so I think it's the good mornings next. So with the good mornings, and what I will do is, I've been in a band for a long time. Over time, and this will add a fair bit of weight. I'm just going to walk with that, that's going to be too hard. I don't particularly want you using a band just yet. I'll see how you feel. When you come into these, this is going to add resistance coming up. So yeah, for now, I just want you to put, but I'm just showing this for purposes, when you feel strong enough, you get in under it, like what I just did here, with the back of your neck, and you take some load. So I've taken some load off my neck there, and I'm using my biceps to hold that. Same thing, belly to spine, and it's slow coming up, and then quite strong coming out of it. But for now, so just to get these, this movement happening in the posterior chain, belly to spine, we hinge at the hips, grow from the crown of the head, keep the belly nice and strong, and then slowly come back up, belly to spine, stand. We don't overextend. So hinge, and then up. These are your good mornings. Go 8 more of those if you can. That would be perfect. It's a very, very simple exercise, but very, very necessary. Keep drawing your belly to spine a little bit more. Just a slight lordotic spine going on there. So I want you to think anterior tilt and keep that as you draw that in. That's better. Beautiful. Can you feel that a little bit more there?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just the slightest little cue. It's just that. Keep that, and that'll give you that nice flat back rather than there. I see this so often. It's fine when you're in this weight, but when you add weight, that's going to cause issues being like that. So it's up. So it's just keeping that really nice long spine. And so you're using your core without really thinking about it, you know, it's just adding into everything we're doing. Mindful that that belly is working, but not putting too much pressure on it. Make this one your last one. Perfect. And you're going to keep that same feeling in the belly when you come down to plank. It's exactly that same feeling that you are here into plank pose, and then just do 3, so fingers spread wide. 3 tiny slow circles one direction, like make them as small as possible. And then of course 3 the other way, and then drop your knees and come down into a child's pose. So these circles are quite small, you're not trying to go too far, but also get some stretch into the wrists. Good job. And then rest. Beautiful.